Dylan Harper's already making San Antonio uncomfortable, the good kind, but still uncomfortable.
By the Spurs, an initial possession turnover. It's Harper to the basket, continuing his strong.
The Spurs thought they had time. They had Wemby. They had Fox. They had Castle. They had a plan that probably looked clean in some whiteboard. Then Harper walked in, played real playoff minutes, made grown-up reads, looked way too calm for a rookie guard, and the question got harder to ignore. What exactly is he becoming? Right now, two different futures are visible for him, and neither feels fake. One future looks like Tony Parker, a guard who doesn't need every headline, who runs the team, controls tempo, feeds the big man, attacks the paint, wins games, and becomes part of the furniture of a dynasty. The other future leans closer to James Harden, a young creator who begins inside someone else's structure, learns the league, waits his turn, then grows into a whole different offense. And you know what? Maybe both comparisons miss something. Maybe Dylan Harper ends up as Dylan Harper. But before we get into it, if you love basketball and you're one of the 90% who watch without subscribing, join the NBA Inside family. Now, Harper's rookie season was easier to miss than it should have been. That draft class had loud names everywhere. Cooper Flagg, Con Canipple, Carter Bryant, big box scores, and big narratives. Harper got buried a little. San Antonio's quieter than the usual rookie circus. And national shows don't camp outside Spurs practices every week. Wild. Because the kid averaged 12 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists on 51% from the field, 34% from 3, and 76% at the line. Useful numbers.
Clark tried to take it away again, ripped out of his hands. Harper on the wall, yes!
For a rookie guard on a team trying to win, useful matters. The real signal was the jumper. Before the All-Star break, Harper shot 25% from 3. Ugly. Really ugly. After the break, he jumped to 49%. Everything opens from there. Once defenses respect the shot, the drive gets cleaner, the pick and roll gets nastier, and Wemby's gravity gets even more unfair. Here, Harper stops feeling like a normal rookie guard. He does not play like a rookie begging for touches. He plays like a guard trying to understand the game. He gets into the paint without flying around like someone cut his brakes. He uses his body. He keeps the defender on his hip. He waits. Sometimes too long, yeah. He's still young. The patience already there right now. And next to Wemby, patience is gold. You cannot sprint into the lane and toss the ball near the rim like, good luck, tall guy. Well, sometimes you can because Wemby's ridiculous. But good guards give him more. They deliver it early. They read the low man. They know when the big is sealing, when he's popping, when the weak side's cheating, and when the defense leans too far. Harper already shows pieces of that. Now San Antonio has a real decision coming. The Tony Parker lane sits right there. Parker was never the loudest star in San Antonio. Tim Duncan was the franchise. Duncan was the adult in the room. Duncan was the guy every camera trusted. Parker became the engine. The glamour went elsewhere most nights and the offense kept landing in the right spots. He gave San Antonio pace, paint pressure, pick and roll control, the little floater, late game calm, the ability to bend the defense without turning every possession into a personal addition. That lane fits Harper, maybe perfectly. He could become the guard who makes Wemby easier to use, the one who gets them organized, the one who pushes when the floor opens, slows down when the game gets messy, and never fights the franchise's biggest truth. Wemby's the center of the universe. Fine. But Harper can still steer the spaceship. Tony Parker won 4 championships. He won Finals MVP. He spent years making a dynasty feel normal. Everyone talks about the stars who explode. Fewer people talk about the guard who keeps the machine from making weird noises. That future feels clean, stable, championship-friendly, very Spurs-like. Then there's the Harden lane, and that one's louder. James Harden started in Oklahoma City as the third guy. He played next to Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. He came off the bench. He sacrificed touches. He made the finals at 22. Then Houston happened. the whole league adjusted. Harden became the system. The ball lived with him. The spacing bent around him. The step back became a weapon. The reads, the isolations, the numbers, all of it turned into a dangerous offensive stretch. That lane's tempting was Harper because the creator stuff's right there. The size, the downhill force, the left-handed rhythm, the way he gets 2 feet into the paint and makes the defense choose. Give him more on-ball reps, more late clock possessions, more freedom to fail and figure it out, and maybe he becomes more than the guard next to Wemby. Maybe he becomes a second superstar. Sounds great, but also messy. The Harden lane gives you freedom, volume, and individual greatness, then hands the player a giant backpack. Every coverage points at him. Every bad playoff night turns into a trial. Ask Harden how fun that gets. And yeah, Harden has had an all-time career. Still, the championship piece follows him everywhere. Fair or not, people bring it up. The Parker lane gives Harper structure. The Harden lane gives him ownership. One helps build a dynasty around Wemby. The other asks whether he can reshape the offense himself. San Antonio has to handle this carefully. Wemby changes the math. You do not get a 7'4" franchise planet and casually shrug like, let's see where this goes. No, you build with intention. The guard next to Wemby matters more than almost any other roster spot. He decides when Wemby touches the ball. He decides how quickly the team flows into action. He decides whether the offense feels clean or like 5 guys trying to find parking. Harper might be that guard, but Fox complicates it. Castle complicates it. Vassell and Keldon Johnson complicate it. Good teams have these problems, and they still count as problems. How long does Fox stay if Harper keeps growing? Does Vassell fit the final version? Does Keldon become a trade piece? How much creation does Wemby need next to him? Those questions shape the Spurs' timeline. I don't love forcing Harper into one comparison this early. Harper makes sense. Harden makes sense. But neither one covers the whole player. Harper has a little Parker in the way he fits into a bigger system without looking annoyed by it. And also their last names rhyme. He has a little Harden in the way his body and handle pressure a defense when he gets room to cook. He's not a copy. He's a 19-year-old guard trying to find his own lane next to the strangest big man in basketball. That matters. Development gets messy. Sometimes the shot jumps. Sometimes it disappears for 2 weeks. Sometimes a rookie looks like the future, then commits 2 turnovers that make the coach stare at the floor like he lost a family heirloom. That'll happen with Harper. Let it happen. The tools are real. The comfort's real. There will be nights where the handle gets loose, the jumper runs cold, and the reads arrive half a beat late. Should the Spurs shape Harper into the perfect guard beside Wemby? Or give him room to chase something bigger? Honestly, they should probably do both for as long as possible. Let him learn the Parker stuff, control the pace, feed the big, value possessions, defend enough, keep the machine calm. Then give him enough Harden reps to see what's really in there. Late clock, empty side, pick and roll, second unit control, games where Fox sits, games where Wemby draws 2 and Harper has to punish the gap. Don't trap him inside one future too early. Teams mess this up by deciding too soon. They say you're the table setter and the scoring never fully opens. Or they say you're the star and the team loses the balance that made the kid special. San Antonio has to let the answer breathe. Harper may end up closer to Parker. He may end up closer to Harden. And he may land somewhere in the middle, a guard who fits beside Wemby, then takes over when the game asks for it. A player who does not need 30 shots to matter, yet can give you 30 when the matchup demands it. There's the sweet spot, the spot that makes the whole thing fun. So yeah, we can predict all we want. We can argue Parker, we can argue Harden, we can argue ceiling, roll, touches, Fox, Castle, Wemby, all of it. Fans do that. We pretend we know the ending after one season, then act stunned when a 19-year-old changes the script. I keep coming back to one line. Dylan Harper will be Dylan Harper. Maybe the final version's a championship guard. Maybe the final version's the second superstar. Maybe it becomes something nobody has a clean name for yet. And honestly, that might be the best part. San Antonio should enjoy the uncertainty, because this kind of problem's rare and useful. The Spurs don't need to decide his whole career today. They need to keep giving him real basketball, real pressure, and real responsibility. Because if Harper already looks like this before the role gets bigger, San Antonio might be staring at a future it did not expect this early.